Esteemed audience, debate is not debate unless it's on the Great Debaters Contest, the platform that gives high school students an opportunity to air their ideas to the world. I am your host, Esperancia Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. The bone of contention between our intellectual teams today with the theme government is African states should adopt a monarchical system of government.
In the proposition, we have the gentleman from Wa Boys High School.
And in the opposition, we have Sheikh Al-Farsy Secondary School. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
Anything without vision is confusion, or rather, leave nothing for tomorrow that can be done today. The motion today pleads African states should adopt the monarchical system of government. I'm Adam Hussein from Wa Boys High School, here to propose this motion. First and foremost, a state is a politically organized country. To adopt is to adjust to new situations in order to cope up. To adopt is adjusting to new situations in order to cope up with something. Monarchical is a system of government where democracy is practiced but aristocratic power is respected. Aristocratic power, this is where the royalty rule over others. Examples of the monarchical system of government is the absolute. Absolute monarchy is a system where the powers of the king or the queen are unrestricted. Then, the other type of monarchy is the constitutional monarchy. This type of monarchy is what my team and I are urging to the world. Constitutional monarchy is whereby power is restricted to a constitution or an order, solid government. What do I mean by solid government? Rarely have we heard of cases whereby countries using the monarchical system of government, e.g. Denmark, luxury, Malaysia, Japan, and UK, having any conflicts in the government. So, we have to adapt to this monarchical system of government because it provides a solid government. There are no cases of inconveniences in the government. There is no one to blame. There is no one to put blames onto. So, I urge my fellows and others, let's adopt the monarchical system of government. It's good. Look at the country like Denmark, Malaysia, Japan. These are countries that have a high, solid government. They are growing. They are stable. They are ready to cope with any disaster in the world. So I'll urge my fellow Kenyans and my fellow countrymen, I urge and my fellow students, let's adopt the monarchical system of government. It's worthy. It's able. We can do it. Thank you.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Take risk. If you win, you'll be happy. And if you lose, you will be wise. In front of you is Ahlam Wahid from the Al-Farsy Girls Secondary School, ready to take the risk of opposing the motion that says African states should adopt the monarchical system of government. On to my first point. As my fellow opposer has said that monarchical system promotes solid government. I would like to tell you that monarchical government is formed through tyranny, and tyranny is easier to form the structure of a monarchy. So tyranny, it is a form of governance whereby the rulers govern through cruelty and oppressiveness. Just imagine you are a citizen or you are a subject in that nation whereby you have no voice. It's more of nepotism that is taking place within you, isn't it? Just imagine you have no voice and you have the freedom of speech. It's complete shame. In fact, I strongly oppose that monarchical systems of government should not be adopted by the African states. Because, onto my second point, I would like to say that monarchy gives an accountability to the executive. How? The monarchy gives extensive and accountable power to the executive to appoint and dismiss ministers. How? This prerogative was abolished in Section 3.2 of the Fixed Term Parliament Acts in 2011. Grant clemency, declare war, award honors, and also appoint thousands of appointments. All these powers are exercised with no legislative oversight or control. In the absence of monarchy, the legitimate authority for this decision will reside in Parliament, which could choose whether and how to delegate decisions to the executive and how the executive will be held to account for the exercise of those powers. also its hereditary office for this leader is not justifiable, because as we all know, it is hereditary. The leaders have a guarantee of the seats, because if the father is the one who is ruling now, the uncle or the brother or the son is going to take over the seat. So it's like you don't have the right to choose the leader who you want. Just imagine if we embark on the spirit of democracy, as Abraham Lincoln has said it's the rule for the people, by the people, and to the people. Imagine in Kenya, for example, US, South Africa, there is the power of choosing the leader who you want. And it's very much privileged, because if we choose the leader whom we want, we are sure of development and stability in the country. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes to cross-examine.
If you do not want monarchical system of government, then what do you want? You should adopt monarchical system of government. It can lead to a leadership stable. A monarchy has eternal life and is not subject to national elections like other forms of government. You could also tell us the democracy. Remember, there are 4 types of government. There is democratic government, aristocratic, monarchical, and dictatorship. In monarchy, we practice democratic, but we respect aristocratic. So, in monarchy, it offers saving for government with absence of election. Remember, in monarchy, we do not do elections. So, the money that it would expended on doing the elections, you save it. This form of government reduces the huge amount of expenditure on the country from the elections, as there is no need of electing the next leader. The existing monarchy will elect the leader. To my first point, it lessens cases of corruptions. States ruled by monarchy experience less corruptions. Also, these rulers do not last for money, because they know that they are not going to rule for one term. So they are going to rule for them. They do not intend to misuse authority for the corruptions. Andrea Belger and Christian Joskov found that social trust is higher in monarchy, and economics it generally correlates with lower crime and corruption. In my fellow has talked about monarchy leads to a solid government. According to a political scientist, Victor Menold, according to him, in the Middle East from 1960 to 2006, monarchy is offered more stable than other forms of government. So when you come here, tell us, if you don't want to adapt monarchy, what do you want to adapt? Do you want to adapt democratic system of government? Like for instance, look at our country, Kenya. It's just the other day. Remember, in Kenya, we are doing democratic system of government. Look the way it causes effects to the citizens. We did vote 2 times. It is money wastage. A lot of money is wasted on other things that should be invested to other businesses.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for examination.
Thank you. My name is Shafa Abubakar from Sheikh Abdullah farsy, and I'm here to oppose the motion that says African countries should adopt the monarchical system of government. First and foremost, I'd like to oppose my fellow member. He said that we wasted money on doing a double election. But let me tell you this, they only wasted the money to satisfy our needs. Do we not have the right to be satisfied? It is democracy. It is our right. We have the right to vote. We have the right to say, no, we do not want this or we do not want that, because it is our right. That is first. And second, I'd like to say that you said election wastes money on us, but have you seen the royal houses? They're made of gold. What's the use of the gold in the platforms? That money could be used for the government. And you're saying we wasted money on election, but they're also wasting money on the royal houses, on the crowns. And before I object to another, I'd like to add a point. When it comes to monarchy, it's likely to lead to tyranny. What is tyranny? It's an oppressive cruelty to the people. Do we want that? Do we want a system where we'll be oppressed? We are likely to be oppressed? No, we don't. We want peace. We want stableness in our country. Take, for example, we have USA. We have South Africa. It's in the continent Africa. And my dear opponent was mostly emphasizing on countries like Denmark, and we have England. But how come you did not emphasize on the African countries that practice monarchy? We have Swaziland, we have Lesotho, we have Buganda Kingdom also, but you did not mention any of those. Those countries are among the third world countries. They're also developing. They're like our own. We're also developing. It is Kenya. We want something above, something that we can actually reach so that we develop more. Two, if we practice democracy, there's a lot of advantages. One of them is that we're likely to have a stable government also as well. Because one, if we look at the countries like the States, their defensiveness is so high. We're looking up to countries that are already developed, and we want to be something that we can be happy to be. There's something we look up to. That's one. And here in a monarchy, there's the double tax, whereby we have to pay for the White House, the State House, and also if we adapt to this government, will also have to pay for the queens and the kings and the rulers. Do we want that? We're already complaining about the tax we have. Why should we add more problems to why should we add salt to our wounds? We don't want that. We want a government whereby we'll develop. So on there, I'd like to oppose the motion that says we should not adapt to this new monarchical government type of system. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked, in an oppressive regime in a monarchical government, how do we deal with such, considering the citizens cannot choose their leaders? The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked, how does monarchy suppress the freedom of speech? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Chris Musando, an expert in ICT, nominated to stand for last year's elections, announced dead. So, don't you see the oppression that other forms of government have? And here telling us that monarchical system of government offers oppression. And remember, the first proposer came here and told you that we are supporting constitutional monarchy, not absolute monarchy. So, I think that's enough. Personally, having been born in UK, one of the monarchical states, I can hereby tell you that monarchical system of government is beneficial to the state, to African states. Dear opposers, I'm perhaps going to ruin your day, but the truth must be faced. Suma Franklin, presenting War Boys. Promotes cohesion. Monarchical system of government tends to bring all the members of the state together, as the citizens will only recognize one leader, unlike in other forms of government. Sasha Baker wrote a working paper suggesting that in a country with a weak executive constraints, from an hereditary leader to a hereditary leader, increase annual economic growth of the country by 1.03% through cohesion. Monarchies rank well in terms of their economic framework in the world with ease of doing business. Among the top 10 countries, we have 5 of them being monarchs, the likes of New Zealand, Norway, Australia, Denmark, and UK, leading in business. So, dear opposers, who are you to tell us that we should not adopt the monarchical system of government? It does not share blames. Unlike in democratic government, where blames are passed to the ruling party. Once a monarch makes a decision, it is not rebelled against. A good example is our country, Kenya. The opposition party tends to oppose ideas and projects brought up by a ruling party, even when they are positive. Should we adopt the monarchical system of government or not? Dear opposers, I wish to rest my peace. Thank you.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond.
My name is Abdullah Azan, and I'm here to oppose the motion that says African states should adopt the monarchical system of government. First of all, I would like to answer the question that one of the audience asked. how does a monarchical government restrain like the freedom of voice, First, you tell me, in a place where it's ruled by a king or a queen, what say do you have in there? What can you say? And also, in that place, if a king or a queen does not like you, he or she can just take you to prison without any evidence, anything, because I'm the ruler. What can I do to you? What can you do to me? Nothing. And also, my fellow opposer said that she quoted Abraham, who said that freedom is of the people, by the people, and to the people. And you tell me, do you think the monarchical system practices that? No, it doesn't. And also, my dear proposer said that they are supporting, constitutional monarchy. No, the motion says that's monarchy, all of it, not part of it. Now, I would like to add on points to my opposing part. It may not have a ruler who is serious. If a person if a ruler knows that I'm going to rule for the rest of my life, can I really do something to do that? An individual who knows that she may rule for the rest of her life may not have the tendency to take the responsibility of developing that country. Like we have Swaziland in Africa, yeah. Do you think it's developed? No, it's not. But look at USA. It's developed, my dears. It's very, very developed. And it does not practice any monarchy. Rather, it practices democracy. Democratic. Yeah, democracy. It leads to inequality of wealth. In a monarchy system, the wealth goes to the prime ministers, the kings, and the queen, but none of the wealth goes to the commoners. You commoners, you're not queens, you're not kings. You commoners, your plight is going to be the same. Nothing of yours is going to change. You're just going to remain poor if you're poor, and middle class if you're middle class. But the rest of the wealth goes to the kings and the queens. Thank you.
Proposition, you have 1 minute to wrap up.
As I earlier introduced myself, I'm Adam Hussein, representing Wa High School. Fellows, opposers, the judges, and the audience. Look at me as I stand in front of you. My grandfather, though dead last year, was disabled because of democracy. My father, although alive, has a scar because of democracy. And as I stand in front of you, I have a scar below my knee, my pair of trousers, just because of democracy. Why should I adopt democracy? Democracy, democracy, democracy. Why should I adopt democracy? Democracy is a devil, guys. Please, democracy is a devil. We have to get out of this type of government. We have to get out of this type of government. Democracy is a devil. Hoping that I won't die, I repeat again. Democracy is a devil. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
Thank you. I'd like to oppose the motion that says first and foremost, I'd like to say that the monarchy has the unwritten type of constitution, which is very easy to manipulate and change. So, do we want that type of constitution whereby it will be easy to manipulate? No. The structure of the monarchy government is so hard to change, whereby we have democracy, we have referendum, we have amendments we can make where we have a say, we can change our government. And when it comes to monarchy, there is people, the only people that get say is those that have wealth, those that are noble. We're not the noble ones, we're just the normal people, and we want a say as well. Thank you. So, as well as my opponent said, is that we are the devils. As a matter of fact, we're nothing compared to devils. We are angels. Thank you.
One boys, Adam Hussein, you had a good introduction. However, make sure you relate your quote to the motion. Otherwise, it will be left hanging. You had a good definition of terms by saying that out of the many monarchical systems of government that we have, you're going to restrict yourself to constitutional monarchy. That was good. Jerumani Nasuri, you have a big name. You had a good introduction with a good rhetorical questions. And then check on the coherence of your arguments. Some of your points were not really adding up with the subsequent points. Then also be time conscious. A good debater normally does a mock rehearsal before coming for the real debate. Mock rehearsals will better your confidence and make you deliver accordingly. Franklin, Suma, the Chris Msando case did not come out well in relation to the monarchical state. So check on how you clinch your arguments. Then I could feel some passion and conviction in your arguments. You had a lot of pausing, however, which sometimes ate into your coherence of argument. But generally, you can make a very good debater.
Al-Farsi, the girls did well, quite persuasive. And I would start with Ahlam. Ahlam, you have good voice projection. However, you are too fast. It didn't come out more of a debate. I think you are a bit too fast. You rushed your points, but again, good use of gesture. Shafa, you have a powerful voice. You had a good understanding of the motion. You brought out the disadvantages of monarchical system and tried hard to persuade us that indeed it's not the way to go. So quite impressive again. Arwa, a good voice projection. However, your answer was a bit vague, too general. We expected you to be more specific. So you can improve on that as well. Otherwise, may the best win, the team win.
The judges have deliberated and have awarded Sheikh Al-Farsy Secondary School with a difference of 2%. 68%. Let's give them a round of applause. War Boys High School. The judges awarded you 65%. Let's give them a round of applause. And let's give a better round of applause to Sheikh Al-Farsy Secondary School for being the winners of this debate. Congratulations to both teams for a job well done.
That's it for today at the Great Debaters Contest. We'd like to encourage you at home to keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms. The hashtag is GDC for SDGs. Also, we appreciate every participating school, principals, patrons, students, and our sponsors, Blaze by Safaricom and Brand Kenya Board, for making this show a reality.
Remember, to each and every participating school, we'd like to encourage you to take up the SDG challenge, whereby we would encourage you to implement at least one sustainable development goal so as to make our country, society, schools, each and every community a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Chris Buru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. See you in the next episode.